Here is a way to help your class or your students or your teachers kind of organize the first 20 days to help with PBIS. And there was a podcast episode on here where you can hear from both Tara and myself about how we implemented this in our district. So here is a map. Okay, so it kind of shows how we started and when we had different activities laid out. You could rework this and you can change any of the activities based on what you kind of need or what your teachers or students might need in the classroom. You can see here that we also offer a course if you're interested in any of that. So again, it kind of rolled out into 2 months with it being 20 days in the way that our school year was set up. Here is day 1 and 2, where students are going to kind of review those classroom SOPs. Here is a resource pack that goes over every single SOP. And if you have more or need more ideas, feel free to shoot us a message and we can help kind of brainstorm alongside you. But if you click here, there's videos and resources on questions to think about. Then there's different strategies to support you and then some examples. So each of these have that kind of flow. And again, there's videos to support you on creating that. So prior to introducing this to your students, you're going to want to think about what are my SOPs for my classroom? What are my expectations for my students? And what do I really expect of them? What do I want them to accomplish? What do I want them to do? Then you will also want to take those roles and explain them to your students. And you can do this one way by using these review games. And again, there's different review games here. There's also different resources and sources in here to help you set up these review games for your students to help them review those managements and expectations that you have. The next thing is you're going to have your students review the PBIS matrix. So first, you're going to review your own. So you're going to want to find yours and probably add yours to the list. And then once that happens, students can do discussion diamonds. So once they have that, you can give a jigsaw activity where every single group will have a different location in the school. And then they do a think first. And then they share their ideas with the group of what they noticed or maybe what they wondered about that matrix. And then they're going to come up together for their group answer here. And then after they do that, they'll create like a poster that they have to present in front of the class. So that is one way that you could have your students teach these procedures and expectations throughout different locations in the school. And then on these days, you're going to do some spiral review. So you might reteach any misconceptions that you're seeing. You're going to look through and think of, okay, what issues did we have? And review those expectations. So again, you're going to go to our game and you can find all of those different games to help review and help students understand. If students are not coming into your class correctly, you really want to correct that behavior now rather than later in the school year because it's going to be a lot harder. So again, correcting the behavior now will be great for you just to keep things going and organized. Day 6, you're going to explain how they come into your classroom in the building. And again, there's some resources to help if you're in the classroom. You might do like agenda, bell work, or you might do like end of the day agendas, end of the day reflections. So again, it kind of depends on your classroom and school, but you're going to want to think about how you organize your thoughts in your classroom. If you're in your building, again, it's going to depend on your school and your classroom, but you might want to show those maps of different locations and how students need to get there. And there was a resource just created, I'm going to link it right here, that shows how students might access the media center. And so again, it kind of provides students a map so they have a visual, and then it just walks through what the expectations are for going to that new location. Here is hallway expectations, where you're going to teach and model those expectations. Again, you're going to show that matrix and you're going to discuss that classroom needs. There's also a resource here. It's Tidy Up Your Transitions. And this is a timed activity where students are trying to improve their time and they are trying to beat their time. So every time that they start, it might take 5 minutes to transition, but the next time it takes 4 minutes. And so you should celebrate that. Seeing that with your students will allow them to set goals. And then maybe by the third time, it's 3 minutes, 2 minutes, down to 1. So again, you're able to celebrate using those different transitions with your students. Day 8 is restroom. And so students, again, are going to create those SOP for the restroom break that you can show them and discuss with them on that matrix. And then, again, you might want to look at this review from the SOP just to kind of decide, what is my way of keeping track? How am I going to create a pass? Okay, what do I need to do in order? And here's some examples as well for when I want my students to use the restroom. So is there a sign out? Is there a pass? Is there something that they need to do? So again, all of those resources are there for you. Group 9 is group work. So right here is, again, that SOP focused on group work. So you're going to want to take a look and decide, are you going to have group roles? Are you going to do maybe 21 days of group work just to help your students build up those skills? What are you going to do? Are you going to use timers? Okay. So again, what do you expect? And then you might, again, want to do that 20 days of group work to have them first work with a partner and build up to that group work. Right here is assemblies, right? So sometimes we go to assemblies. So again, you're going to want to review and go over those expectations with your students. And then right here is that code of pedagogy, that map that I was talking about, where instead of the media center, you might add in the gym or wherever the assembly is and walk through what are your expectations and where do we sit? How do we listen to a guest speaker? And then there's this helping curriculum, which teaches different ways to decline or accept help. So here's some resources for this helping curriculum to really have your students focus in on, how do I ask for help and how do I decline help if I don't need it? So you can review that resource with your students as well, because there might be times where they're working with different partners or groups or teachers, and they can really be kind when not accepting that help. 37 or 13 is where they're going to go over those expectations for the media center. So again, there's that map. And again, you might want to just explain with your teachers or students of what it looks like when they're going to that media center. And then 14, you're disagree when you're respectfully disagreeing. And so again, you want to model it and provide examples. And there are some sentence starters here that when you're showing respect, this is how you could disagree with somebody. And again, it can just kind of help those conversations and help your students kind of understand how to respectfully disagree with someone if they really don't agree with where they're coming across. And then school grounds. So this might be like recess. Again, you're going to want to go over maybe like a map like we did before. And then again, review what you expect from your students when they're outside. And then if they have a smart lab, this is where students can go to take a break. Again, you might want to create that map again, create again those sign out procedures. What do they do if they need a break? How do they inform you? What do they need to do? And then if they need to use the office or counseling, again, what do they need to do? Is there something that students need to sign out of? Here's like office and tech models where students will need to explain as well. So again, there's a bunch of different things that you can do when it comes to it. You want to be proactive and not reactive. You can also use that work and reset, which there's a video on this resource if you're interested. Be consistent. So again, rather than handling things mid-year, be consistent now. Show exactly, have them reteach if they need to. Create those visual reminders for students of what is your voice level, what material do you need, what should you be doing. And then if you need it, there are some reflections to help you when you're reviewing these concepts.